going on, guys? It's Dustin Witten and Ethan Hoggart here from Akern Outdoors. It's been a little bit since we put a video out, so we're all getting amped up on hunting season so far, and done put out a few game cameras and sniffed around a couple places. But we just
You've done more sniffing than I have.
a little sniff. But anyways, we thought of an interesting video, maybe to some people, and some people just I don't know. But
If you're interested in filming your own hunts,
yes,
this is a video for you.
yeah, we're going to break it down, kind of how we got into it and what we use to do it. Just kind of tell you behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, Dustin, why don't you start off with the camera you started with 10 years ago or whatever, however long it's been.
That was a good one. This is the old Sony Handycam. I borrowed
a long time ago.
Yeah, sucker. It takes good video.
It does.
And it's nice just because it's so small and compact that, you know, you can just throw it in your...
Yeah, it'll go in your pocket and everything.
And so that's what I packed around with me before we even thought about getting into editing and putting videos on the internet, on the interwebs.
Yeah. And I don't even think it shoots 1080, does it? I think it's a 720 camera if I was...
I think that is
it a 1080?
HD.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I mean, what do these go for? About $200?
200 something, yeah.
And you can look back and what hunts were filmed on this? The Bratcher Bow Kill.
Yeah, that's the first one I
Yeah,
ever
you can look it
filmed.
up on YouTube. That's Kyle Bratcher. You filmed him on that one, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the first filmed hunt that I ever captured on camera. Kind of what got me addicted to the whole thing.
That's a good hunt.
Yeah. And then the second one that really got us addicted was that hunt 2 years ago when that first night, that 140-inch buck walks up. And Ethan filmed the whole thing, and he's like, "Dude, this is almost as fun as hunting."
And now look at us. We're behind the camera more than we're in front of it.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, that camera right there has seen a lot of...
And it's lasted forever. I mean, you know what I mean? It's not like we're easy on stuff, but it does just fine. It doesn't have a place to put a microphone or anything like that, but I mean, it does just fine on the...
Yeah, if you don't know anything about cameras or like focus or any of the terminology of cameras...
Don't buy one of these first.
Oh.
Don't go out to Walmart and buy one of these if you've never messed with a camera before and want to self-film. This is not the camera to start with. That is.
Yeah.
Because we learned that the hard way.
And, you know, I said I've had this camera for probably 5 or 6 years now. And the thing that kind of really kept me from upgrading is that I didn't know anything about them. So when we finally made up to mind, like, let's get some good cameras and start learning it. I had to learn more than he did. He knew all the photography side of things, and I just kind of dug my nose into every YouTube video I could find on it, and just kind of what we're trying to do for you guys, just kind of give you some tips. But this is the camera I finally upgraded to right here. It's a Sony Ax 700, and this one, I mean, it's pretty expensive, but it's not nothing that you can't save up for and buy if you really want to do it.
That's what you had to do. That's what we all had to do.
Yeah, it took me a couple of years, but I saved it up and I bought it. But this one right here, you know, you got your manual focus.
That's key, I think, on a camcorder is having the manual focus ring above anything else, I think, on a video, don't you? If you were to get one, if you were to get one, well, because whenever you're filming in the woods and stuff like that, you don't want it hunting and pecking for leaves and stuff. Yeah. I mean, if you were to have one feature on a camcorder for filming hunts, what do you think is the most critical?
For good looking footage, like if you're going to actually film a hunt to try to do something with it, you manual focus all the way, I think. Because then, like if there's branches between you and that deer, you can actually pull focus into that deer and see nothing but the deer. So
yeah. And I've got a smaller version of Dustin's. I've got the Sony AX33. They both shoot 4K. I think his has a lot better like frame rates and stuff, and his shoots low light better because it's got a bigger sensor. But I mean, this is just a little handy cam, and basically it's just the little brother to that one. I mean, you can see it's just a smaller version is all it is. It doesn't have as many bells and whistles, but for the most part, it does pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, it does real good. It shoots, like I said, 4K, and not saying you have to have a 4K camera, but it helps.
You're ahead of the game.
You're ahead of the game. Everybody's recording 4K right now, so you're not falling behind by only buying a 1080. But I think what helps too is in post-production, you can get a little extra zoom. So you can, if you're self-filming particularly, you can keep it wider. So if the deer's walking, you know, you're not having to move the camera as much. And then in post-production, Dustin will take it down and he can crop it in, and he can go in 4 times and it's still 1080p. So it's still pretty good footage.
Yeah.
So it just helps.
And all the stuff we're saying, if you don't understand it, I was just like you guys.
Just
like frame rate, shutter speeds, ISO, gains.
Now that's getting to be, after a year, it's getting to be second nature for us talking together. But
and that's another thing about this camera, like, is you got all your like down here on the bottom, you got your iris, your ISO and gain, and your shutter speed. And then right here is where you can set one of those to whatever you want, and you can control it by this little knob. So
yeah, that's handy.
being able to adjust your settings on the fly, that's
one thing this camera does not have. It doesn't have those buttons on it at all. All it has as far as a button is the manual focus ring on it. That's the only thing you can really.
And this one, the only button you got on it is the record
on
button.
and off.
But sometimes you don't know how many times
I wish
I'm filming
that,
with.
I wish that.
Just
that's
give me
all
a button.
Because how many times have you gone, I didn't hit record because you were too busy messing with something else. You know what I mean?
If you guys watch that video of early season in northern Missouri and those otters come underneath us, and then I was picturing the video in my mind, just looking at the camera screen, like, dude, I'm like Marty Stauffer, like Wild American. Well, I learned a valuable lesson today. At least it wasn't on a big old buck. It was a cool experience, though. We just had 3 otters come down here in this little slough right in front of us coming off the lake. They was fishing. Man, I was looking through the viewfinder. I had them on there, and I was like, dude, that's some awesome footage. They come down, they swim right underneath the stand, play around for a little bit. About the time they're leaving, I look down at my screen, and it says stand by. I'm like, you gotta be frickin' kidding me. I told Logan, I said, didn't get any of that. And then all of a sudden I looked down and it says stand by. And I was like, golly, I didn't get none of that.
I was too worried about getting it.
And then Kyle Nelson last year, he forgot to hit record, and one of the guys he was hunting with killed a deer, so that's just
how it goes.
Part of filming hunts.
That's
It's not easy.
Hunts.
And that's another thing we was talking about, you know, filming hunts, that's like what I really like to do and Ethan likes to do. But let me tell you, if you want to do it just to get famous, it's hard work. You know,
we're not here to get famous because we know it's not going to happen.
Oh, somebody might like me.
We can only, like 4 people.
4 people? No, but yeah, we just do this because we like to do it. And I mean, golly, look at that. I went to the chiropractor the other day because I felt like I got a pinched nerve in my shoulder. Now my arm's just sitting
for
there.
the camera. I want to look swole.
No, but
I gotta flex now.
Where was we at? Okay, back to the drawing board.
You were twitching.
Yeah, my arm was twitching. But yeah, so these are the different kind of camcorders we got.
You're very basic. Great to start out with. Great to just do anything with, really, because it's. Like he said, you still take this, like when you're shed hunting, when you're going with the family out and stuff, because this is a whole lot easier to throw in your pocket than that one, especially when you start getting the big mics and stuff hanging off of them.
Yeah, and you can also use this as like a second angle camera, you know, pointing back at you.
Real lightweight.
Like
you don't know what's there packing it in.
But speaking of second angle cameras, what kind of stuff we got here? I know this is the one. What?
Go ahead.
Oh, this is the one I use usually. It's a GoPro, and that's what usually I put as my.
You got a couple of them, don't you?
Yeah, I got a couple of them. But yeah, these are kind of one of those things that, you know, when you're starting out filming, you don't have to have them, but like if you're going for like a better, you know, storytelling with the camera, the second angle, the third angle, the fourth angle, they add to it. So, you know,
you got a lot more story.
Yeah, if the deer's coming in, the main camera's on the deer, and then this camera's filming, watching you, just your heart beating and it coming in.
And then you got a remote here too for your camera, so he can link up all his GoPros.
Yeah, you can sync, what is it, like 50 something GoPros?
Yeah, you can put a bunch of them together.
If I had enough money,
you surround the forest with GoPros.
I got 50 angles.
I'll be editing for the next year.
But you can take his remote and hit start, and however many GoPros you have linked, they'll start recording right there. So that's a handy tool to wear around your neck.
Yeah, and that's kind of how the new Tacticams are. The new 5.0s, they've got a remote, and I think you can link 5 of those together.
Yeah.
Just one button push, and they're all recording. But I'll either do my Tacticam on, I'll mount it on my bow riser with the stabilizer mount, or I will use the head mount and put it kind of on the side of my head to where, I've always thought that whenever if you're shooting your bow at a deer, you've really got to think about it when you shoot to keep the bow on the deer, because your first instinct whenever you shoot at a deer, I don't care who you are, when you shoot, you're going to drop your bow, look at the deer, and watch it run away. So that's why I'm always thinking that if I put it on my head, no matter what, I'm going to be looking at the deer. Woo! Yeah. And then another one I put in the tree. It's and this is something we're totally doing new this year.
This thing is freaking awesome.
This is cool. We got it and we played around with it shed hunting some, but it's the Insta 360 1X. This is a 360 degree 5.7K camera. And what I've figured out doing with it is that you can mount it on like one of these trail camera mounts. You can screw it in the tree right above me in the saddle, and it records 360 degrees all the time. So the only real blind spot you have when that deer comes in is if he's on the other side of the tree from you. But you just set it up, kind of to your side to where you're thinking the deer are coming from, and you don't miss anything.
Yeah.
You reach up, it's 2 buttons you push, and it's recording. So I'm really liking using it and the Tacticams for self-filming all by myself.
I can't wait to film it.
I want to get back in the tree so bad just talking about this stuff.
So, DSLR cameras. This one I bought off of Ethan.
This is what filmed his deer hunts for several years.
Yeah.
And they take awesome footage. That exact setup, that lens, and that camera. I mean, it takes awesome footage, but it's not made for self-filming.
Yeah, I mean,
you know what I mean?
People can do it, but it's
it's a 2-person deal.
Yeah, because you really need to have 2 hands on a camera like this when you're filming. That way you can do your zoom and then do your focus right there.
And then watching your screen.
Yeah, and being able to watch the screen and stuff like that. This is like hunting shows you watch today, like that go for that more cinematic look and
Heartland
stuff
Bow
like that.
Hunter, the Lindsay Way, whatever Greg Ritz's one is, I think. They use a lot of these cameras.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think Greg Ritz does, but definitely Heartland Bow Hunter and the Lindsay Way.
Yeah, one thing this will give you that, like, say these cameras won't, they call it depth of field, and that's how, shallow it'll get. And you can take one of these with the right lens on it and, just basically focus on the bow hunter, and the whole background will be blurred out. And it just kind of gives you more of a
personal feel, I think.
Just brings you in a lot closer, focus on what you want to focus on.
We use those a lot. Like, I've got a big 600mm we'll put on that. And, like, Dustin has some places that he goes in Velvet Scouts. And he'll set it up and film velvet deer with that big scope. So you can reach it. It's like a spotting scope. It's just about that big.
Yeah.
You can't quite take it to the woods with you unless you're in a blind or something and
you're hunting over like an 800 acre.
You know they're going to be out there at least 50 yards minimum.
Yeah.
So it's a big boy, but it's a nice lens.
What else we got here?
These bad boys. Yeah. A couple years ago we added some drones. And what were we running before? We were running...
A couple of years ago, when we started this thing.
Well, I'm just talking about me.
Yeah.
I had a Phantom 3 DJI and then moved up to this one. This is the Mavic Pro. It's not the new Mavic or anything like that. This one just does absolutely just fine for what we do.
You get the camera where you can't get a camera.
Yeah, it gets the camera exactly where you can't get a camera.
Yeah.
And we noticed one thing too whenever we were shooting some footage.
Look at it.
Over there flexing again. Can I touch it?
That's not me doing it.
Oh.
Alright.
Gives me the chills. What I noticed, what this was pretty good for, is whenever we were shed hunting, when we put this up in the air, you could see a lot of the game trails.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like
that's like a scouting tool on steroids.
Yeah, you just fly that around and you can see where the deer were. You can see their paths. You can see. I mean, it just opens up. You know, Google Earth can only tell you so much because it's 2 years old and was taken in the middle of summer.
Yeah.
You can fly up real time season, get up high, and see game trails and stuff like that moving through fields.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
not only does it give you more interesting camera perspective, but also gives you a perspective of how the land lays out. And
so we've got it, and we've got a couple. We've got some filters for it, and we've got the controller, and then we added the headset, the alien headset over here.
This thing's wild. You can put this sucker on. Wait a second, my eyes aren't on my forehead. Oh.
You gotta loosen it up, bud.
Oh.
You have a big head.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can actually steer and fly that thing just from that.
Heck, if you kept your drone right in front of you, you could just walk to the woods like this.
Yeah. What we use it for is basically I'll fly on the drone from my phone, and Dustin will have that on a lot of times, and he's got like a super high def screen in there, and I'm more concentrating on flying the drone and getting it here, there, and everywhere. He's watching the bigger screen, telling it when to record, when to take a picture, and he's seeing a lot better than I am.
Where are those buttons that you can
see? It's a touchpad.
Oh yeah, touchpad. That's crazy. I feel like a FBI agent or something. Ching, ching.
RoboCop.
Yeah. And tell the folks about these right here.
These are the things that will make you see more deer than you've ever realized.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed. Just call Oakley if you don't see deer. They're the Oakleys.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can't leave home without them.
That's what I forgot to say on that DSLR. That's another thing about like a DSLR versus one of these. So you gotta actually take the lenses off of the DSLR and swap.
To get different looks.
Yeah.
You know, we've got different, the classic 35mm like the old film cameras. I've got an 85. We're recording on an 11 to 16, so it's super wide. I mean, the camera's only, 3 feet away from us?
Yeah. But that's another thing about those cameras is you just kind of gotta weigh your
pros and cons. I mean, do you want the super cinematic look and deal with the DSLR up in the tree that you got to use some more movement on?
You're going to be wanting to headbutt the bark.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes you get mad at that thing because you get back and you look and you pulled a quarter out of focus the entire time because you were looking at a little screen, where the autofocuses in here are a lot quieter. They're silent. And that one you can hear in autofocus, so you have to run manual on that one. These will do a pretty good job just running auto, but there's times you want to kick them into into manual focus.
Yeah.
And you've got the microphones you can run on all of them, and we're filming on my DSLR right now. It's the Nikon D7500 with the VideoMic Pro up there, I think, and then this is the VideoMic Go. We got anything else on the these are pretty handy to have.
Yeah.
These Joby Gorilla Pods.
And here's like a miniature version of it.
Yeah. You can.
It's like a bobblehead.
Yeah, you can set up like these littler DSLRs, and actually I've run mine on one before, or not mini camcorder. You can run those on these, and then find you a limb or something, and just wrap this thing up around that limb, and it won't go anywhere. And it holds it tight. I mean, you can put it anywhere. Basically, if you can wrap it around something, it's going.
Yeah.
Who were we talking about again?
Travis Markley. If you ain't heard of him, look up November Bowhunter on Facebook, and I don't think he's got a YouTube channel.
Does he? No.
I don't know. You can look. It ain't gonna hurt.
Yeah.
If he does, you'll find him. November Bowhunter, and he got some pretty cool films. That's
they're kind of longer hunting films.
Yeah, but he's good about that cinematic thing. And what he uses actually, last time I talked to him, he had a Nikon 5300 just like this, but he had the wide angle lens that you're looking through right now.
Yeah.
And he used that as his secondary angle, you know, kind of like if you're self-filming. Because that's what he does is self-films. So he has this kind of in place of a cameraman. That way he can talk to it. But yeah, he said all he does is just get up in a tree, wrap this around a branch like that, and it's stiff enough to hold that camera. So
yeah, I mean it's because normally what you're running on a camcorder is a tree arm.
Yeah,
you know,
that's why
you're lugging this thing to the woods.
Yeah, I got this 4th arrow arm last year.
Which that's a nice one. That's a nice tree arm.
Yeah,
that's probably the nicest out there, I would say.
Yeah, and it does good. But the only thing about tree arms, and this is what me and Ethan's been talking about, I think this year we may try to, as little as we can, go without a tree arm and just freehand it. I mean,
yeah.
Because the thing about a tree arm, a lot of times is if, like you can only go so many different ways and stuff like that. And I mean, if a deer's chasing you around like that, it's just kind of hard to kind of swing it back and forth, and you're doing all kinds of figure eights and everything like that with just holding it in your hand.
You know, I'm hunting out of a saddle this year, and Dustin's considering getting one. But what you've got basically is you're always going to have a rope coming just like this, and so we're looking at getting maybe some cotton carriers or something that holds your camera right here, to where all we have to do is pick it up, and you've got these ropes that are on tension right next to you that you can use as a brace to look around in the trees and stuff. And I mean, Drury Outdoors, look how successful they are. Mark and Terry Drury outlawed tripods and stuff years ago, to the best of my knowledge. They don't let their cameramen use them because they got in the way too often than not.
Illegal
premises. So, but, I mean, you don't have to have the tree arms. I mean, they're just, that's a lot of extra bulk and weight, especially if you can't just leave.
Yeah, because then not only you gotta have that, but then you gotta carry your adapter, which that's pretty heavy when you're adding all this.
When you add all this stuff up in your pack, what were we carrying last year through the woods?
Probably 89 billion pounds.
It felt like 1,000 pounds because we had our deer stands that were 15 to 25 pounds a piece. Then we had sticks.
Yeah.
Then we had all of our camera gear with batteries, this and that. And then we had all our hunting stuff we had to carry. Then we had our clothes. You know what I mean? It added up fast, and we were 7 days. We were ready to get home.
Yeah.
And take some leave.
See, I'll tell you guys how wealthy and popular we are. When we go up to northern Missouri, it's 18 degrees. We sleep in a tent. We bathe in the river.
You bathe in the river.
You never bathed in the creek?
Not with you fellers.
Yeah, after about 5 days of living with dudes.
We go down to the truck stop and take a shower.
Alright.
Okay, now that we're done going to Dustin Land, we just took 30 minutes off here, and we're back. He had to come back around, but eventually we're back here.
Yep.
But anyway, that just goes to show y'all that there's something you can do for every budget. And honestly, you can pull out your cell phone out of your pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And it will take immaculate footage. You're not going to be able to zoom way in or anything like you can with these. But if you just record it straight up, it takes 4K footage anymore, and it's great footage. We use it a lot for B-roll stuff. The A-roll and B-roll cuts. I mean, we're using... probably at least 50% of our shots are done with a phone for our B-roll.
And that's another thing is like you can use the phone for your second angle camera, like instead of a GoPro.
Just get a phone holder. They're like $2 on Amazon. They'll just go up there and hook up to one of these little mounts and use them.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's used to taking selfies. Just turn that sucker on you and selfie yourself.
If you need to see the selfie expert of our group, Kyle Bratcher, his handle is like Kyle Bratcher, Akern Outdoors, or something along those lines on Instagram. Look at him. He is the king. So, anyways, before the dog starts going nuts, we're going to wrap this up. And just remember,
Can you see it?
Just twitch.
Gosh, that's weird. All right.
Stay wild.
I ain't gonna like bro.
Tacos.
Tacos.
Are they tacos?
No, she got
Arby's.
Peace out. Yeah. We'll see y'all. Stay wild. Go buy some cameras. We were literally. Yeah. That's like, oh.
Just knock $300 off the table, why don't we?
Our good buddy Travis Markley. What up, boy? Sorry.
I'm taking a drink.
Pick up some hookers. Look at that. Compose yourself. Ow! God. It was so good. It was going so good.
And pick up some hookers. We cannot concentrate. All we have to do is focus for like 2 more minutes.
I'm sorry. I got ADD.